smart. I always forget that button. Okay. See, now I have to hit.
The moment somebody calls and is like, hi.
And you're like, what? What happened? Okay. And then now I have to hit go live on this thingy. And then I got to post it to the other page. Because nobody wants to play nice. I don't know why in the internet streaming world.
They don't. I say it's because it's like Facebook probably wants to make their own eventually, so they don't want to like work with anybody else unless they're getting paid to work with somebody else. And it's like,
which I get that, but I don't get it, right? Like morally, I don't get it, but like business wise, I'm like, I get all these horrible decisions, right? Like, you go down that rabbit hole, and I'm not saying this is what I think, but you could start to like rationalize just about anything. So
I mean, you can.
We're not going to do that, right? Like
for money.
Yeah, everybody. This is all like, colonization was really money, right? Freaking Napoleon, French Revolution, money. We could go on because that's just not what we were starting this conversation on. But I'm like, okay, just in a sense of this is just the card we've been dealt. Everybody, not here to judge, but
yeah,
I now I'm an old lady that puts Sprite and sangria in a wine glass, and then merchandise my books.
I love it,
and then just ask my friends that happen to have been on Netflix. I'm like, hey, I do a dumb thing here. You would come be dumb with me because it's good for my mental health. Really, right? It keeps me kind of social and somehow also if anybody like we might have like the lag going away here. Anybody just like popping in. Hello. It's Tuesday. Welcome to this little web show diddly. This is very cool. This is like the second episode. Last week was with Scott and he's great, but my camera was all messed up because I was still moving into the office. So you get like I brought my shit. Literally bringing it for you, Lola.
I love it.
So this is like a little web series I started because almost a decade I did in the lubricant life. And then I skipped and jumped to what you guys all know me as is like the condom charmer here, right? And nobody was talking about the things that I wanted to talk about because I honestly thought, and I probably have more knowledge than the average person, like the average person, right? Working in lubes and then going over to condoms because just disclaimer, I am not a sexual educator. This is why I invite my friends. So in doing some of these things and just learning what I did from a business perspective and finding all the holes in sexual wellness and then having to figure out how to make money in this because we're all still trying to live in the world that we live in. I started blabbing here to the void, the ether of the internet. And then y'all kept showing up. So the show is kind of its own sentient being now, as I like to call it. And it decided out of, curiosity and sass and just good questions and figuring stuff out, show up I will. And so Lola showed up. And I brought Mr. Man. Maybe he won't fall asleep because he's excited to see you. My quick little, look, and I made a banner. I'm trying to get it all profesh for you.
Ooh.
My quick little disclaimer, anybody, if you're new here, the conversations coming up will include sexual health, pleasure products. I might talk about penises or condoms. It might not be your vibe, and that's fine. But if you change your mind, we'll be here. But scroll to your convenience, please. Okay, you're still here.
I like great. That. I like your little banner. It's cute.
Right. Little. Well, because I keep getting shadow bans, but I'm also like, haha. Joke's on you. I'm not monetized. So
I'm not getting money from this anyway.
This is not how I make money, jerks. This is just what I do for fun. So disclaimers aside, come have fun with us. We're happy you're here tonight. Like I feel like is that like kind of like a little drum roll there? Dude, we got it. We got Dirty Lola here. Sex ed rock star, public speaker, vibrator slinger, boundary breaker, trailblazer, also super fun to hang out with and get tacos at midnight.
Oh my God.
Trade show. People just show up with Del Taco and you just know you found your army, right? Which is like hard. The show goes on. Because I blab to the void and my people find me. So welcome. But all jokes aside, you are a badass. Lola, if you haven't met her, she's a Dirty Lola. She's a force of nature. In sex positive activism. too. Like she's got viral talks on body autonomy, pleasure to her signage, or like you got the sex ed at go-go, you did the Netflix stuff. You've spent over a decade just putting your soul and your life out there to just help people change their narrative, right? And like that narrative started from 0 to 2. There was nothing you could do about it, so nobody feel bad. So
exactly.
She's gonna let me like pick her brain a little bit, and then we stream it live. Those shenanigans. There's a chatty thing here. From Blanca. Hi, gorgeous.
Hello. Oh, I like that it pops up. That's cute.
Right? Isn't it cute? And then like, if you go
this is professional.
No, I told you. I brought the stats for you. I have like a little, like, look, it comes up before I can post it sometimes too.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Oh, I love it.
Where's the free StreamYard link? Oh goodness. And my little affiliate link thingy, I can send that to you. I don't even understand it. But if you need to watch because you don't like wherever you're watching from, looks like YouTube. We're on the Pleasure Professionals industry page. If you're not invited, go like ask a little person to invite you. I can't do it right now because it is like, you know, our super special. Gotta know. You gotta be selling something to somebody or something, right? That's a whole other rule. Pleasure industry versus adult industry. We don't have time for that today.
We're adjacent, but not always the same.
Yeah, we're like first cousins once removed, right? Same family, but different set of rules.
Yeah.
But you can check out I Should Be Live on Instagram at Tori Tia, and then my Facebook, whatever that is. Just Tuesdays.
Got it all together.
I know. Well, because you have to jump through the hoops of the streaming. And it's a live, authentic show where things happen, and I'm learning how to make a show. And I asked my friends that have been doing it for like 10 years, like, how the hell y'all doing this, right? So, without further ado, Miss Dirty Lola, you want to just like give people what's up, like how you got here, why you're still doing it, how come you're always dressed amazing, and why wouldn't StreamYard let me post, like you sent me the cutie little headshots. And I thought it was mad because of the wand. So I took the wand out and it was still like, no, apparently you lying down on a couch is way too suggestive. And then like holding the microphone, they had to like AI me. I'm like, you know what? I don't have time for this.
I don't understand it. That I'm so surprised the couch picture. I'm like, was it the titties? Are they like too much cleavage on a couch?
Oh, that could be it. Which is, you know, that's a whole other thing. Unfortunately, the amount of ladies I've met, I know they are amazing that like just wear extra scarves because they are just well endowed, and somehow that's them being provocative. Which is it's just what the shirts look like.
It's the internet. Well, I won't stand up because I'm not wearing pants.
Oh yeah, don't do that. It was the tatas.
They're like below the camera angle. You know, we're working with it. I don't know. This was all an accident, honestly. It was.
I think the best stuff is right.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't know this was a job you could have. I didn't know it was a job I wanted. I just kind of stumbled into it. What was this, like 2009 or 2010? I started a Twitter account, and I was just talking about old school Twitter, like when Twitter was good, when it was the wild
like my kids
do anything. Yeah, it's just like and I was just talking about, I was a bored monogamous housewife, reliving my glory days through story time and talking about things. And I've always been very into sex and sexuality just as a hobby. I am the Samantha of the group. Every group has a Samantha. I've always been the Samantha. I was always the friend that would take you to the sex shop. Even before I was even in this world, I'm like, oh, let's go to this store. And
before it was like your industry card. You're like, no,
right.
It's cool. Like, let me educate you. You're like,
let me just go. I've always been that friend. I'm the person that I'm sure everybody gets annoyed when they come into the store and they're like, we don't need your help. My friend is with me. And I was that friend who was like, oh, I know all this works. And now I'm that person comes in and I'm like,
I'd be like, oh, I might be able to learn something from you too, right?
That was what are you saying?
Good testimony.
I always listen because sometimes I learn things. Sometimes I'm like, that's not actually true. So that was always me. And I got on Twitter and that whole whirlwind My joke is they came for the titties, they stayed for the knowledge, because I got like a huge following just like talking about sex and participating in Titty Tuesday.
Lying on a couch with a yellow dress.
Lying on a couch with a low cut shirt. And I started talking about opening up my marriage, and I was turning 30 and really discovering kink and like talking about
like opening a marriage, not cheating, right? People
not
just get
cheating.
Their mind blown, just
right,
like
right.
Yeah,
like what? And then
I'm not an evil person.
I mean, I did have an emotional affair, which led to me realizing like I was not monogamous before I met my husband, but I met him really young, and I thought I was just not in love enough, which is not true. And so then I realized, once I was really deep in the relationship and having a quarter life crisis, that like, oh, I'm not monogamous. I'm horrible at it. I don't want to be monogamous. How do I get out of this without getting a divorce? And yeah, so we opened up our marriage, and I was just talking about the adventures because I was meeting people and going on dates, and I was in my early 30s, like kind of living my 20s, because I met my ex-husband when I was 19, and so I was with him all through my 20s, and I didn't start like exploring again until I was almost in my 30s. So all that time I was partying, but not with a lot of people. I was just with one person, and everybody else is dating. I was already married. And so in my 30s, I was living my 20s. It was wild. So I was talking about that stuff and learning like a lot of people were finding common ground. And I was talking about the stuff I knew about sexuality and sharing those things. And I started a blog, and then I started going to conferences. And when I got to conferences, you start meeting people from, and you meet people from all the places. Like that's how I met Jessica Drake. I met Jessica Drake at CatalystCon,
and she's such a sweetheart. Like amazing. Someday I'll find it. I just moved, so I have to go through my paperwork, but I have, it just one of those like, oh my God, did you know that my husband worked at Fascinations before I even got into this? Like, I think you knew, but Jessica Drake would go and like sign things. And I was pregnant at the time, and he was excited working at his Fascinations job. I think he was someone incorporated in the summer. Maybe he was still store manager. And so what does he do? Tell Jessica Drake, the porn star, this. Like he's just super professional, but he was so excited. So she literally signs whatever cute magazine thing that he brings home. I was like, oh my God. Drake signed it to my daughter, but at that time just called her Dot. I was like, that's a story, right? And then it's like now I'm like seeing her, and like she's like seeing my kids grow and like all this stuff, and I'm like, I have to find this someday. But it's like, who would have thought, right? Similar. I didn't think all the things.
Yeah, and that's how I started meeting people that were working at different brands. I mean, I met so many people when they were working at one place back in the day, and now they're somewhere completely different. But that was the beginning, and I really wanted to be a part of the community, the broader sex positive community. And I just kept thinking, like, how do I do that? Because at the time I wasn't a teacher yet, and I didn't feel comfortable calling myself a teacher. I used to call myself a sex encourager. That's where Sex at a Go-Go came from, because I was hosting burlesque shows in New York. I was hosting shows. Say,
what finally inspired you to shake it off and take that plunge of like, I'm a teacher? Because I struggle with that too, right? Yeah. Somebody called me an expert, and I'm like, no, I gotta call Dirty Lola, or I need to call Ann. Someone needs to like verify me. And they're like, no, but at some point you being around for 10 years makes you an expert. Like,
yeah, it's like, it's time served sometimes, and like how you do it. Hi, y'all. But yeah, so I started doing the show because it was a marriage of, I was hosting these shows, and then sometimes I would have parties, just like hangouts, and always at the end of the night, somebody would ask me a sex question or ask me something and my advice, or do I know a product? And I used to have a smaller collection that used to be in vintage suitcases in my room. So I'd drag out these vintage suitcases, and I'm like, do you know what this is? Or da-da-da, or you should get this. And one day my friend just goes, you should be doing this for other people. Other people need you. Like not everybody has a friend like you who talks about stuff the way you talk about stuff, and you make it really easy to understand, and people need you. And I'm like, nobody wants that. Nobody's going to listen to me talk about sex, but it was stuck in my head.
Sometimes
it's very surreal.
I have to check myself when things happen or questions come by. Like, I'm constantly struggling with the like one of my favorite sayings is, you don't know what you don't know, but I have to also pretend that not everybody has the same base knowledge. Like, not pretend, I need to realize, right? Yeah. So I'm constantly like, okay, well, that person maybe doesn't have my work ethic. I need to understand that. Or, but it's hard. Like when somebody asks me I hate to pick on this poor kid, but one of my first trainings when I switched from condoms or from lube to condoms, going through measurements and just kind of suggesting how you get the customer to open up to you about what experience they're looking for, maybe what hurdles they're going through. And we're talking about sizing, and poor person was like dead serious, raises their hand. And I was like, okay, great. Now how do you size the balls into that? Like, baby, they don't go in the condom. It's hard not to laugh, but this was a person on a sales floor with
but that's our education system. Like I'm never mad when people ask these questions. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the state of our country.
Right. We just kind of have to remember that this is our baseline right now. Like this is our benchmark. Where do the balls go?
Get a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Honey, I don't know. I'm still carrying my balls around. I don't know. Where do they go?
It's like, I don't know. So I was doing that. Like I started the show, and it was I wanted to combine burlesque and the people I was meeting there, because I don't know if you've ever had the blessings to sit backstage with burlesque dancers, but they are brilliant. The conversations, the lessons I learned in those dressing rooms.
Don't even
about loving myself and my body, and people are getting their doctorates, and it's like, but people look at them and they're taking off their clothes, but they also have lives and they're brilliant human beings and they have a lot to say. And so I wanted to boost them and support that community that had given me something to do with my life that was fun. And then I was meeting all these amazing people at conferences. And when I would go home and say, like, oh my God, I met Ducky Doolittle, people are like, who the fuck is that? And I'm like, there's no way. You don't know who this is. So I wanted to create something where I married, like, answering questions. Or is she on your bookshelf? She's probably on my,
she's over there.
All my books are right here.
She's over there somewhere, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, right. Ducky, we love you.
So, it's just like, I wanted to combine all these things. And that was the birth of Sex at a Go-Go and how we were created. And the first, and I say we, it's me. I always say we.
It's your other personalities, right?
Yeah, it's all the people in my head. We created a show. And me in a notebook.
The condom charmer doesn't show up at the PTO meeting. Okay, there's a great space for all of that.
We got other people in here. They got
we got to give them all attention here. Yeah,
everybody has a job. I've done that. Oh God, I don't have any shows planned this year, but we did our 10th anniversary last year. So
it was still going on. Okay.
Yeah, it was still going on.
See, I know if
I will bring it back.
Yeah, let us know if I can help you. Right, it's just me, but let me in the condom jar know.
Let us know.
Let us know how I can help you.
And I was doing that, but then when people were like, "How do you do this?" I'm like, I don't know, because stuff started happening, and I was doing a show, and then people would see me online, and I had a huge Twitter following. And so that was getting people like reaching out about doing podcast. And then I was being invited to do my show at colleges. And I've done Sex at a Go-Go has been all over North America, including Canada and Mexico, in case you think that North America is only the US, it is not. So we've been around the whole continent of North America. We have a whole map. I've been all across the continent of North America.
I got grade school kids. Okay, you are correct.
Like we haven't, and I've been coast to coast with the show, and it's been amazing. And I've had so many amazing people on stage with me, and it's just been a gift. But that got me into these other spaces, and then I was working a desk job still, and I hated it. And although it was really good Twitter, fodder, because I called myself the naughty secretary, and it was just good times. Anyway,
you made your experience count for something, right? Every experience.
I did. I got something out of it.
Lovely, but you might as well learn something while you're there. Yeah,
you pick things up. But I left that job because I hated it, and then a friend of mine, I was dating a magician at the time, and
how fun. Condoms just show up out of nowhere.
Magic. But where comes out of your ear? He would do stuff like that. It was crazy. And he's great.
That rocks.
But he was a friend of Shag's. Like Shag has been around for 14 years. and he was a regular, and he was like, oh my God. He introduced me to the shop, and he got in touch with me one day. He's like, they're hiring. And I was away. I was in California, and I emailed Sam, the owner, and I said, I'd love to work. Like, I didn't know y'all were hiring. And they had closed submissions, and she's like, for you, I will open it back up. I will, because they knew me. And so I came in, I did my interview, and this is my 11th year at Shag. I've been there. Yeah. So 11 years later, I'm still there, and it's amazing.
I'm still standing.
But that's how I started teaching, because I started doing classes at Shag.
Because all of a sudden you were doing it because you could. You were like, I'm comfortable talking about that. All right.
And we still do we do freebies now. Before they were all paid, but now we do these little freebies that we do. They're like 15-minute classes. We do in person, but we also put them on Instagram, and we do paid. But back in the day, like, that's how I started teaching. And I was teaching and doing Sex Ed Go-Go, and then speaking at conferences, because now I'm speaking at conferences, not just going to conferences, and things just keep rolling. And it's kind of like I'm like a lint roller, and I just kept picking things up, and things just kept coming by. And I know I worked for them, but it was just like, I was just out here existing and just doing stuff. And then something new.
Well, yeah, working for someone doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the opportunities unless you kind of like are looking for them. You need to like
doing things.
Yeah, you need to manifest it with your energy, so to speak, right? Like, work is not a dirty word. You have to be
doing things. Yeah, no. And I've always been somebody, I like the adventure. And in the beginning, especially, I'm like, is it fun, and could it lead to something? It might not lead to something right away, but it'll lead to something. I'm going to do it. And I'm a helper. I'm definitely what Mr. Rogers was talking about, the helpers in the world. Like, literally, I think I have an imaginary help desk sign over my head. People will stop me. I'll be in a crowd, and people will come up to me and ask me for help, for like directions or somewhere to go. I also don't like seeing people, like, I'm like, hey, if there was a very long line in the bathroom coming from the train station the other day, and I was coming home from Connecticut, and I'm like, there's a bathroom upstairs and it is empty. I just came out of it. Please get off this line. No, and I stopped to tell a whole bunch of people. Yeah, but that's always been me. And I love kind of being able to help people in all these ways.
And that's fantastic.
All these little bits.
It's harder and harder. I feel like in this, I'm just going to say, like, world of burnout, whatever's happening right now, it's harder and harder to find people that actually are willing to give you any sort of time, right? Even just like a hello and stuff the energy is too much. And I'm not here to shame. This is not the shamey show. This is just
but I also learned the karma of it, right? So I can trace back how I got things like Sex Props, which is still up. It's a web series that I did with New York Magazine. That all came from a student coming in, and she was a NYU student, and she had questions about the industry, and she was doing a project. She came in, she talked to us, and I spent a lot of time talking to her. And then she graduated, and one day in my email box, I got an email from her saying, hey, I work for New York Magazine. We're doing this series called, It's called Professional Eyewitness. And basically they were having people sit down. So like they'd have an archaeologist sit down and talk about like Indiana Jones and what's real and what's not real. And is this really what your job is about? And so they were like, oh, do you know another sex educator? And we want you to watch sex scenes in movies and just comment on it. And my friend Francisco Ramirez, who's been just like, he's amazing. He does so much work for the community. He's been around forever, and he's just like.
When are you going to bring him to the next show? I watched them.
I know. We need to bring him to things.
To be my best friend.
I'm like, come out. But I said, I'm like, do you want to do this? He's like, hell yeah. They loved us. We sat for like an hour just chopping it up, watching these sex scenes, laughing. And New York Magazine said, we want to do a show. You can tell us what you want to do. Like, y'all are amazing together. And this all stemmed from like helping a student. Like, I didn't know this was going to be a thing. I didn't know it was going to get me anything or do anything, but that came from that. And then like, I got the HBO I helped an artist. She was doing a show called The List, and she wanted a sex educator to come one night and sit on the big bed and talk to the audience. And Shag was helping promote it. And so she asked me if I'd do it. I said, yeah, of course. And she's like, all I can give you is a ticket. I was like, I want to see your show anyway. Great. I love it. Later, somebody, she gets a scout calling her. It's like, do you know anybody who'd want to do this? She was like, have you talked to Dirty Lola? I hadn't talked to her for years, but she said my name, and that got me in that room. And when I got Netflix, all they said was everybody we've spoken to has said, have we talked to you? So we needed to talk to you because
so apparently we have to talk to you.
Yeah, it's just, but that I'm like, I must be doing something right in the world because people say my name when I'm not there. And that's, you know, and I try to do the same for other people that I love, that I always try to say folks' names if it applies when I'm in the room. Like you're always coming in the room with me. If I love you and you know, and you do good work and I want people to know who you are, I'm always bringing you into the room with me.
I call it the Dumbledore army, right? Like there's just the list of people that I'm like, I know you can help me with this because you're like-minded in harm reduction or whatever, you know, sexual wellness is a category and all the other stuff.
Yeah. Or just what you do, right? Like, so I just keep a Rolodex. We call it the Loladex of people. If you're too young to know what a Rolodex is, it's a little,
you probably scroll
like a little card thing that sat on your desk and you could write your addresses and things on. And you
sometimes I still have to believe in the paper. I save everybody's business cards now because I've learned, and I put them in a little
book
after every show.
I have it out. I have a business
card. Do we show off? Mine's in the closet over here.
Let me get mine. Mine's not that big. I need a new one.
Girl, we know yours is that big. It's just kidding. In the meantime, Blanca says that she needs to come see you in NYC because she's kind of. She needs to bring the middle-aged housewife to work day, right? She needs that. And she says that we're aging us, but not really. We're just super smart.
We're just super smart. Wait, what's all my pages.
Wait, where's Blanca's card? It stands out. You might be able to see it.
Have your card?
Yeah,
wait, I don't know if I got a new card.
The other one was very pink, so it stood out in mine.
I don't think I have Blanca's new card. I also go through and clean it out. So when people get new jobs, I take their old cards.
Or like,
I don't want to like email.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know,
when
they move.
Like, I think
because I don't want to accidentally email the wrong, you know, and then it's like, oh no.
And then they're like, oh, you're like 10 years behind, Lola. I want to say that.
Right. But I keep everybody's cards in here. But I do this because when people ask me questions, I'm a resource person. I don't know everything, but I know somebody who knows a thing that you need to know. So
well, and then I
pride myself on
I didn't. So let's all figure it out together. I'm just curious now. Did that help?
Like, yeah, like, or what do you need? Or who can I send your way? Or like, not every opportunity is for me. So, but who could it be for? Do I know someone? I love combining people. Like, it's not just about me. It's about like, how do I spread it out? Like, I don't take things that I'm just like, that's not really my wheelhouse, but I know people who, let me give you some names of who could help because
I think that takes time. There's a little amount of confidence, at least that was kind of me in my 20s where it was like, I didn't want to put anybody out, but then come to find out like, no, part of the business is like, if I can't help you, you know, let me, like, do you have a referral? Do you know someone that can help me or vice versa? That usually ends up happening.
Because it's not a competition.
You have a pajama jam?
Yeah. Don't worry. We're still planning it. You're not being left out.
Well, excuse me.
You're gonna need some pajamas.
Can we get Akatar pajamas? Because I saw them. I'm trying to buy some for Cherie. I don't know if everyone will do book talk pajamas with me, but
I have some satin pajamas that I might do. We'll see. I have like these satin a short set that'll be cute.
Oh my God! Well, maybe we could do something like a quick little photo op or whatever.
Yeah,
but maybe we could turn it into SWPA quick photo thing, right? Because I was supposed to love that. How you're like the newest brand ambassador for the SWPA, right? I made a banner. If you guys don't know, now you know SWPA. I am their newest little board member, so I have to do these things. Or I don't have to, I want to, but it's the Sexual Wellness, Pleasure, or Professionals Alliance. So the concept being, you know, some of the concepts that themes we're speaking of here, we're looking for shared resources together as an industry where it's not necessarily a competition. And right, we got the Dirty Lola. She's already doing what she does all the time. So needed to plug that. And also I made a thingy. Here you go. If you want to get involved, look at that.
Because this is how we survive. You know, I've worked at a sex shop for like 11 years, and I am always sending people to other places and people will say like, why are you sending me to another store? I'm like, we don't have what you need. I don't have the thing you need. If you need it, if you don't need it right now, I will gladly order it for you. We could always do that. But if you needed it today, or you just like need it within like the next couple days, I want you to go. And I always have places. I'm like, who's going to take care of you the way I would take care of you? I don't just send people places. You know, it's like, who's going to take care of you, or who has the knowledge? Like, we don't sell poppers at Shag, but there are stores that sell them in the neighborhood. But I send them to the guy who knows about them. Like, I send them to the guy who could actually explain everything in the case.
Yeah, not the guy that's like, I'm just.
I don't know. Right. Or who goes, I don't know.
To someone who looks under the age of 40 or whatever. Like,
it's Blanca.
He fell asleep. I know, Blanca. She's babysitter's obsessed.
She went on a binge. I love it. Yeah, but it's
and then she also says yay. And Blanca just joined. Welcome to the cult that is SWPA. And then I'll shut up about it. But I know there's a lot of you worked at a store. My husband used to work at a store. I've been on the corporate side, and I've been in a different sort of retail environment. The fact that the same resources are not always readily available to not just, you know, our sexual wellness stores, but just independent business in general is kind of like crappy. And if you didn't know, there's a lot of fun things going around. The SWPA has teamed up with, that's that other FSC portion of it, with the Free Speech Coalition. That's a whole different episode, but there's a lot of interesting things going on around the conversation of age verification and how it does affect your business. So, you know, that's just like quick little heads up. Stuff's going down and change is going to happen. Adapt or die. Choose your weapon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's really real. Like we're in a group, and I see a lot of people talking and worrying about like what's happening. And my first question in my brain that pops in is like, where's your community, and how have you been cultivating community? Because that's what keeps us alive. And I know that's what keeps a lot of the small one-store shops alive, is we've worked really hard cultivating community. We've made it so people would prefer to shop with us, will wait to buy a thing because they would want to come in. Or, you know, now we figured out how to we have courier service. There's so many courier services in New York now. So now we can do same day. We can we've worked to make it so we can take care of our people in a way that is a little bit more convenient, but they want to come in. If we don't have a thing, they ask if we can order it. Like, they don't want to get it from somewhere else. They want to get it from us.
Want help. There's so many systems in place right now, and not necessarily people making the decisions, that it's like at some point I just want to call someone and ask for a human. And sometimes you can't even do that. And now you're talking about your wellness, which is not even something our doctors can necessarily talk to us about. Like, no wonder there's so many extra hurdles.
But it's also, if people see you participating in community and taking care of community, like we donate things. Like if you have a show, if you have something, we ask for a shout out. We ask for like a solid, like, help us promote some stuff, but we'll give you, like, we don't donate product bags. We give to charity. Like we do all kinds of things with community. People can come in and talk to us. We do art shows, the workshops we do. We are working with the Moxie to make it more accessible, because not everybody wants to walk into a sex shop to learn a thing. That can be really hard for folks. So now you're just walking into a swanky hotel and nobody knows what you're doing, and you get to, you know, have a class. And that's also like, it's a hotel in the community who wanted to work with a community shop and was like, how can we work together? How can we help each other? We're in the same neighborhood. We're walking distance away. Like, how are you working with what's around you, who's around you, the other businesses in your neighborhood? Like Valentine's, local florists, we have their flowers. We go sell their roses. We team up with them. We're like, how can we help each other and do things? So I'm like, how are other people doing that where they are? Because in the long run, that's what keeps you alive. It's not, you know, I know we all want to fight with brands about pricing. I know we're all afraid of tariffs. It's, if people need things, they're going to shop for them. And the question is, are they going to shop with you? Because you've made them feel like, oh, this is somebody I want to support. We have people who come back to visit when they leave. They'll come back and they're like, I'm here for a week and I wanted to make sure I come to Shag. We have somebody who lives in Costa Rica and comes to do their like yearly shopping trip with us.
I love
like,
that.
But that's the stuff. And I've seen that over the time I've been there. It works. It's not immediate, but it works. It works being a authentic part of your community, not just doing it for the money, but doing it because you really care about the neighborhood you're in, the community you're in. You want people know us. I've met single men walking their dogs, and then I meet the girlfriend, and then I meet the baby, and now and we watch the life, and then they come to tell us when their doggies pass away. We have a shop dog. Frankie is our shop dog. So we always have water and we have treats, and every dog knows our store, and they come in and say hi. And sometimes their parents are like, we don't know why they're coming in. I'm like, oh, your dog walker stops by. And
does that just make you feel like you're in a rom-com then? Like, enjoy your life.
It's
like,
very cute.
Life outside
it's so cute. And we talk about the dogs. We're like, have you seen Danny DeVito? Like, or if I don't see them for a while, I'm like, is he alive? Like, I worry. I'm like, did a dog pass away? And people do come and let us know when their lives change. But some, like, it's not everybody, but there are people that in 11 years, like, I've watched their kids grow up and I've seen their lives change. And it's just, you can be a part of the community. Like, people think of what we do as so awful and salacious, and sex is a part of life. Sex is how we all got here.
Pleasure is a part of joy.
Or in some way,
joy is the part of life.
Yeah, it's joy. And so, like, figuring out how to be a part of your community, even though we do stuff, we're respectful. We don't let anybody under 18 in. We don't sell porn, and we could, but we don't. We're across from a school. We talk to the schools. We let them know, like, every year, like, don't worry, we got you. And when the kids act up, we can go to the school and say the kids are acting up, and they had an assembly because the kids were going crazy and kept trying to come in. It was a whole thing. But that's community, right?
Yeah.
And then when the kids turn 18, they bust in and they're like, I'm 18. Like, I've had so many kids go, I'm 18 now. I've been waiting to come in. And they come in with their ID, and they're like their first shopping trip.
Oh goodness! Could you imagine if we could get that done with like everybody, or like we could get that done with just like condoms, right? Not bashing on Trojan, but that seems to be, at least in the States, what everybody knows. I'm like, yeah, great. If that is your perfect condom, I'll do you. But like, there's more, right? And so oftentimes somebody just gets into that one that they know, and come to find out there's other audiences, there's other markets, but then they just don't know. So I'm like, could you imagine if everybody just thought that it was like, oh, just go talk to old Auntie Dirty Lola over there. She could take care of you, right? Like, it's all good. But like, as a community member, I can trust it, and
or we can help, like condoms, especially. Like, we sell like the resin condoms, which most people, you can't find those a lot, so we sell those, and we try to have like various sizes, and we try to have something. And if we don't have, because some people need things and we don't always have them, I'm like, oh, here's where you can go look.
Well, yeah, because it's still a business.
Some brands, right? Like, and I'm like, here's some brands.
You can't carry that like specific size all the time, right? Yeah, if only 1% of the population needs that, like, you're probably going to only stock your store maybe less than 1% of it. Yeah,
or go here, or like, or I tell people all the time, we don't sell one condoms, but I'm like, that is a great brand if you are trying to get your measurements right. They make it really easy, and as long as you to like get that stuff down. And I'm having a lot of conversations about condoms, because I keep saying, y'all, condoms can be uncomfortable. We need to stop the rhetoric that just because it can fit over your whole forearm doesn't mean it won't really be uncomfortable for a penis, that it's not the right size.
Or right, just like the concept of, right, I don't like this style of bra. Great, you can get a demi cup, you could get a sport cut, you could get a halter. Like, that's the same sort of concept as like.
But nobody knows that. They don't. Exactly. And I'm like, standard isn't standard in condoms. Like, telling people that is crazy. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Do you think all the condom companies got together and agreed what a standard size is? No, you have to go look for the measurements. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, even in the shop. Like,
oh no, yeah.
The box.
someday, I'll send you my training deck someday because it'll be fun for you to rip it apart in like a sex edge. But like people's eyeballs in my trainings go like this because I'm like, oh, but also we're all like screwed because a standard condom is not even a standard penis size. So everybody walks around getting large, thinking they're like slightly larger than average, you know, or whatever.
But I'm like magnums are just long. They're not girthy. Like just
she said it. Can you say it again?
They're just long. They're not girthy. Stop it.
There's a difference between length and girth.
There is,
and it's okay. Length means larger, and it's like cool that can, but like there's other dimensions involved.
Other things. And just also just having like we sell singles, and I'm the nerd who's like, hey, why don't you buy a few and get a little piece of paper like a note card and make notes after you wear them. And I've had guys come back like, thank you for telling me to do that because I'm like, you got to write it down. You're not going to remember one thing over the other, but like make a little note. Like, was this one comfortable? Did it feel snug? Like in a way you didn't like, and which one did you like? And then come back and then you know. Whatever, you might find a brand that you like across the board, you might not, but making accessible so it doesn't have to buy a whole box. So many people I'm getting more women who think it's their lube, and I'm like, do you think it's your condoms? Because they've like, I've tried all this lube, and I'm like, it might not be your lube, babe. It might be that you're sensitive to latex, so you might have an allergy, and they've never thought about it, or vice versa.
They're putting like an oil-based lube on a latex or something.
And it might be coming apart. It's a whole bunch of stuff happening.
No wonder. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or vegans. Oh my God. I have to break it all the time to vegans. I'm like, if it doesn't say it's vegan, it's not vegan.
I'm ready for you to tell everybody. Just
because it's got casein. It's conditioned with casein. But that was the thing I learned.
Anymore. No, they took the casein out.
What is it now?
The FDA's are so now the funny thing is based on the tree, right? So now it's like companies like Ritz and Rubber have and I apologize. You think I would be able to pronounce it? I can like copy and paste the word. It's in my PowerPoint. It's all about the special tree now. So now the whole argument is it vegan friendly and like just with the tree, right? That specific rubber tree. Right. And is it grown in Malaysia or Thailand? Right. Because then they have different weight, like, or like Japan, right? Japan has different technology. It's getting that to it because, right, it all comes down to which organization are you trying to cater to, right? If you're trying to sell into the States, you're catering to PETA,
right?
Which it's not just any animal byproducts. It's if you're a medical device or not.
Mm-mm.
So it's like,
right.
No, because I had to do the research because same thing, right? All the stuff that's like taught now, it's like obviously casein is way more expensive and I had no idea. So they booted it and nobody wants it. But now we got to get all specific about the tree.
But they have to say they're vegan. They have to be marked in order to be considered, which I had to teach vegans. Like we had to teach. Remember, do they still make Glide condoms?
They do.
Glide still around? Because I remember Glide was the only one for a while that was vegan.
Yeah, I actually talked to her a few weeks ago, right? I mean, she enjoys, she's a fabulous business owner. See, this is, again, part of being part of the community. You would think she's like, she's actually one of the products we don't sell at Paradise. I was joking. I was like pulling up my SKU list real quick. I'm like, you want to know how many condoms just I sell? Because she thinks it's important. And I respect that. She thinks it's important to stay closer to her customer. Right. Mm-hmm. So she's a business to consumer only. Right. But we stay in touch because we know what's going on with the business. Right. So she's one of the ones that lucked it up on time, though, and has the special tree. So she can
special tree.
Vegan. Yes, she can claim to be vegan because said special tree got like 510K certified with whatever special lube way before said animal testing needed to be it became mandatory. Right.
Right.
And that's the other thing is like, you know what did they say? Consider the source or just like, what if it quacks like a duck, it talks like a duck. It's like, you know what, even though it says vegan or natural, what does that mean? There's a whole business and a concept of like jumping through those hoops.
And can I just say, I love nerding up with you. Like I can't do this with my regular friends. I'm normally just saying stuff and they're like, huh? So I'm like, ooh, chopping it up.
We could do a whole episode on that, right? Like, whatever you do, make it look effortless, even if you're wrong, right? Like, you're just
right.
like,
but also, this is the stuff too that we need to know, right? Like, information changes. It changes on a dime. Like, things change.
You think every Trojan commercial, right? The 20 million they're spending a year to get that narrative in our head that we all have to wear Trojan. You think they would update us like, hey, by the way, it's not because consumers as it stands right now don't want that. They don't care. So why spend the money on it?
Or make some more. I want them to catch up to the non-latex, because I'm like, you're going to start losing customers.
Okay,
people are becoming more and more allergic to latex. No.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, no, because there's like only 2 studies published now, and it is a thing. They just don't want to tell people where like the more exposure you have to latex, the more you can get an allergy, right?
Cumulative allergy.
Yes.
No, but it's a cumulative allergy.
Yes.
But I've known that. I do in my 20s when my doctor, because I went in and I said, hi, when I have sex, I'm immediately dry. Doesn't matter how much lube I'm using. My vulva is like swollen and red, and like it looks like a cartoon, like it's like it's throbbing, and I don't know what's going on. And he goes, you have an allergy. Before even testing me, he's like, that's a latex allergy. He's like, how long have you been sexually active? And he's like, well, this is because it's cumulative. But he's like, also, so much latex was in the world. Like like now, if you notice, they use mostly nitrile at hospitals. They've kind of phased out latex.
We should have known this.
Yeah,
and then
because it's,
you want to know what's amazing, but you want to know what's amazing?
Eyelash glue.
I didn't know I had an adhesive allergy until I had my shoulder surgery a couple of years ago. It's like something you never were allergic to. All of a sudden, you can be.
Yep.
Fun fact: we finally Direct just launched the first nitrile condom. So it's fabulous and depressing at the same time. When I'm like, how many years has everybody been like? Our doctors don't use latex gloves. They use nitrile.
Is it on the market? It's like on the market. It's for sale.
Yeah. Like, I'll see you in July. Yeah, I'm going to save you samples.
Yeah, I'm coming. I want samples.
When I get my samples, I'll send them to you. Otherwise, I'll get the warehouse to send. But
I want to know, because
we finally have a nitrile.
I want more choices.
And you know why you have?
But I also want more.
I don't know why you have no. At least you ready? Are you ready? Because skin, right? Sexwell, they have the IP on polyisoprene. I'm like, why doesn't every brand have a non-latex and polyisoprene?
Because they can't.
Because you have to buy it from Skin. That's why Durex has one. It's going to be phased out. Sorry, guys. The Rio feels phasing out because they want to move in the nitrile. But isn't that a great thing about being in our retail stores? Is like, look at how quickly you guys are going to be able to get something like that on shelf compared to Walmart. We'll be lucky if you see it in a year. So it's like, I know sometimes it gets hard to compete with some of the when commodities play a different game than high end pleasure product retail. But I'm jazzed to see it. So we'll make sure we do some.
But it's also easier for us to have there was. I mean, I don't think you can even get them, but do you remember the naked condoms and they wouldn't sell them to anybody because they only sold them in hotels? We accidentally got in on that. And so we were selling them for I think a couple years. And even the owner got in touch with us once and was like, how did you get this? And we're like, we don't know. We don't even know. The guy just said, but they were doing so well. He let us keep selling them because we would get we couldn't keep them in stock. We couldn't keep them in stock. And then when they went away, people were so upset. And that's us with the resin condoms. I just mailed out 3 packs. People come in and buy handfuls because there's only 4 in a pack or something like that. It's not a lot.
Oh yeah, it's that little tab. No, they are cool. But also you need to be educated on it. If you don't know how to put that thing on, you're just gonna rip it in half, and that's how the whole thing.
But it's fun to tell people how to do it. And I've been doing my part in my personal life when I introduce it to people. And I'm like, it's going to look weird. Don't freak out. I'm going to show you something. Because also I'm not bragging, but I tend to be around people who have larger penises, who are just needing something that's not the Skin Large is just not. It's long. Again, it's comparable to Magnum. So it's long. It's not girthy. And the resin actually make one that's a little better if you're girthy, one that's for a longer they have some variation. So
Well,
I have a choice.
With, and it's polyurethane for the folks at home. So you can get a different variation that it feels dynamically different in sizing because it doesn't have the same stretch.
No, it has no stretch. The what is the brand? It's in my drawer, and I don't.
Is it Unique?
I'm not wearing pants. Unique, yeah. Those are like they feel like the old internal condoms. It's like almost baggy, but they adhere. The body heat it makes it adhere, so it stays in place. They're fantastic.
Oh, they're fantastic, guys.
They look crazy.
They look crazy. Yeah. You hold it by this tab, and then I just imagine like it's Bruce Almighty. You just like push it on, and it's like done. Yeah. It's crazy.
And they're in a pack that looks like a gum pack, and they made it so it could live in your wallet and not get destroyed. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and I love knowing that stuff. Yeah,
I love that you know that. And I love
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I love this industry because it's. I look at this industry and I like in a way that it's just such a plethora. It makes me sad when people fight over things. I'm like, we need innovation. We don't need everybody to make the same thing because bodies are so different. We need you to make. I want everybody to make their own unique thing because somebody needs it. If you all keep making the same thing, you're only really catering to one body. And the thing is
pushing compliance,
or one need. We need the variety. Like when you look at dildos, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday because she took a class and it was called sex medicine. And I love that class exists, but I didn't like how they were teaching things because they were comparing a dildo, a wand, and an ear pulse toy, and there was 3 very specific ones. And there's like, and they said like that the ear pulse toy was like the one to go. And I'm like, but that's not true. Those are 3 different toys. They do 3 different things. They're not
category.
Yeah, and they're for different. They are for different uses. And like, how would you compare a dildo to a vibrator? They do different jobs. They go.
Here's Are you ready when people miscategorize that? Ready? It's like. Not all, like all fingers are all thumbs or fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs.
Fingers are thumbs. Right. Yes. And
so it's like,
also,
these are all vibrators. The experience is going to be there. I guess I'll just say it. It's a bunch of men making stuff and they don't realize that multiple orgasms feel different if you're a woman, right? Yes. Like the different spots.
And different bodies.
Different categories. Yeah, different bodies too.
Different vulvas. Like if you have a fat vulva, a lot of these air pulse toys don't work because they're too deep. The chamber's too deep. The nozzle's not long enough. Like you're thinking about one body type and not all the different, like do some research. I don't know. Go look at different people's vulva. There's so many different
types. This business rocks though, is because it's like one of the only business, at least that I've encountered, that you can appeal to a 1% market, right?
Yes.
A lot of this other stuff is very saturated, right? Yeah. So it's like
I like having choices.
You have
when
to
people look at it, but it's also I love when people come in and they're like, why do y'all sell like 20 rabbits? And like they're all different. Do you not see how beautifully diverse these all are? And then I pick them up and I'm like, this one's bendy and this one's curved and this one's more static and this one it's pointed. And
why would I limit your imagination or your choices? Right?
But they don't think you have to train them. You have to train them to look at that. I'm like, oh, what part do you want touching your clit? Do you want it to be a bunny? Do you want it to be like wide, like a thumb? Do you want it to be?
Oh my God. I so wished like my first export experience would have been like, I would have been like, can you be my sister now? Like, this is fabulous.
I get so excited.
I'll just like merchandise, just talk. And I just want to like soak in your energy, right? Dude, I'm such an energy matcher. I'm like, and I will so work like I've had friends that are like, seriously, I'm like, no, put me in the store for like I'll do a shift, like I'll do a 6-hour shift and I'll help out and I'll sell. Because how am I supposed to understand if I'm not talking to the people that are walking in? I'm not going to understand your hurdles if I'm not sitting there. Like, and even that I'm going to really understand. Yeah. Just like,
and I love when we have trainings. I love companies that like will talk to us because it helps me. I can know in theory how something works, but we had these beautiful glass dilators we sell, and the company that makes them, they also do like douches and things, and we got all this education. And then he was like, yeah, well, when you're doing
category, in my opinion, so underrated,
so wonderful. And when he goes, oh yeah, but you know, if you're doing anal training for anal sex, why would you use a plug set? And I said, in all my years, all my years, I have never went until that moment. I was like, if you're gonna put a dick in your ass, then you should be using something shaped like a dick to train.
So where do you put the balls?
But where do you put the balls? In the baldo. That's where you put the balls. You put the balls in the baldo.
I love him. Oh,
and then
I love.
But that was
yeah. Seriously.
But that was so now.
That's beautiful.
And now I have new questions. I'm like, oh, when they ask about butt stuff, I'm like, are you working towards butt sex with a penis? And they're like, oh yeah, I think so. And I'm like, let's go to the dildos. Let's get out of the
you think so? Or like, okay, let's open that up.
I'm like, and we have teeny tiny dildos. Like we got starter dildos, we have dildo sets, and I'm like, oh yeah, if you want for like the sensation and the feel or you just like the feeling of fullness, or you want to wear it, here we go. But I love having more things to ask people, or more reasons, or like, why would you want to use this? Because a lot of people come in. I tell you, most people come into the shop and they just look and they're like, I want something. I don't know what I want. I don't know why I want it. Like, you have to walk them through. Is it for you and yourself? Do you want to use it with a partner? Like, what part of your body do you want to stimulate? Do you like penetration? Because a lot of people come in asking for a dildo and then they're like, I don't really want anything inside of me. I'm like, girl, then don't buy a dildo.
Yeah,
like, this is not, you don't have to buy a dildo.
We need
and they don't know. but they've also been told, like, they think that you're supposed to, especially women, like, think you're supposed to come by being penetrated. And so when you kind of go, you can, but most of us don't, or we need a combo.
But for the most part, it has everything to do with how far your opening and your other things are, right? And then the motion and the shapes of other things, like,
and the clit and your brain space and what's happening.
The brain space is very important.
And then that combines the other side of the industry we said we're adjacent to, because I talk a lot about like purchasing your porn, because you can get some good porn that's more your taste. We got a lot of good ASMR. We have a lot of companies that work with like smut, people doing audio smut. And
I was gonna say there's a lot of that. Was it ethical porn? And smut audio books, like turning on your brain, like erotica. Yeah, it's all still part of it, and it's all still part of the bigger. We tend to. Yeah, I'm like, we're cousins, but we tend to go to different trade shows because the stars they're working. They have other customers to work.
They do. They have other things they're doing. But that's I want, and I love having companies that I like. That's also why I love like going to Anime, because I get to meet people and I get to see the products up close, and I get to see meet the people making things and making decisions about things. And
party, I guess.
Right. Yeah. That's the fun part. But then I go home, I leave Anime like high as fuck every year on just the new things I've learned, the products, the time with people. But I always go home with like, I go home and talk to my boss, and I'm like, because if she didn't go to the show, I'm like, let me tell you all the stuff that I saw on the thing. I'm like,
I come home with like 20 pages of notes, and then I have to like bring them back down to 5, and then the boss gets the final 2. You know what I mean? But it's like I still have to put them somewhere, because otherwise they live up here for forever. Yeah. Oh, look, it's Megan saying she loves us. Megan. Oh my God, she cracks me up every time I see her. She's phenomenal. Oh my God, we've talked for like 56 minutes. 58.
I know.
I didn't even get to like my rapid fire questions. I think I'm just gonna have you back on, or like I could do them, but I feel like let's just get back on again. I'm trying to plan something, and so like don't quote me. We'll figure it out because I'm talking to Megan. This is SWPA stuff, guys. Look at it. It's like you're getting a backstage like situation.
Planning.
Doing something for that Monday night during AME, and I was like, I could do a live with like someone like Zoe or you or whoever, and do like a ask me anything about it to kind of like drive up, and people could just walk up and like ask questions, and it'd be like part of the stream.
I was like, we're all just gonna be in the background, like
yeah. And I just need Lola in the background, like
hello.
That would be fun.
But yeah, I've already started planning my outfits.
Okay. We'll have to talk about that offline.
I got something in the mail yesterday that I'm like, is this going to LA? I think I'm really into rompers right now. So I'm like, are these going to LA?
I got a t-shirt that's coming to LA, but yeah, now I got to plan my pajamas, my whole drive to the airport. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Well, I'm glad we amused Blanca on the way to the airport. This is fun. See, now we're on East Coast time. People can chime in. Great. It's like you're working, but you're not working. You got like figure out some trends right now. You found out there's a new condom, everybody. So like it's work.
Yeah.
Like that was.
I'm so excited about that. Like I'm buzzing right now because.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be hot. At least I'm hoping it's gonna be really hot, right? I like the packaging.
Yeah. And that means is nitrile is it oil safe? No, just polyurethane.
No, it shouldn't be oil safe. Yeah, only but also with love. If you're, I know those customers exist, but if you're still using olive oil, please, can we talk?
Or they use coconut oil.
Can we please talk?
I think we've pulled back from it mostly. The people who still use it are the people who it's just like, it really works for really well and they've not had any problems. And so I try not to argue. I'm not going to argue. If it's working for you, great. If you're like, I'm going to try this, don't.
Yeah, no.
Don't.
I don't know. What is it? I think it was Newton. That was, what did you say? It was like, we're just standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Like, cool. You guys all figured out physics and the math and like roadways and plumbing. I'm not going to go start all the way back.
Right.
Figure out plumbing. I'm going to start here. So like, all right, we've figured out these things. Let's move forward from that. Right.
Yes.
Oh, and look, hubby says hi.
William. Hi.
My goodness. Yeah, Bree, I got samples for you. We got to talk. And we have a meeting in July. Oh,
I know we're like, new. I
know.
I haven't. Have we? I don't think so.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll set it up. July. Bree, Dirty Lola. Dirty Lola does all the things on the East Coast, and she's an educator. Bree's new buyer over at Fascinations.
Oh, yay.
Like, see, again, the more you know. And this is like how people get together and just figure it out.
Love it.
Okay. So now I got to do the, like, you for coming. Now I have like half another episode we have to plan, but like let's do fun things in July and take pictures because I never get enough pictures. And then I do these things and I'm like, oh, like I had Timothy, he's like one of my besties, come on the show a few weeks ago, and I was like, do we not have a picture of us? No, the only freaking picture of like us together, not like a crazy drink, like crazy group or whatever, was us in 2020 on an AVN call and we're all drinking, okay, because it was pandemic. So I'm like, wow, we got to work on that. So people take pictures with me so that I can circulate them amongst the void.
I also forget to take pictures, or I come home with a phone full of like vibrator pictures. I have no people pictures.
Yeah, I get so many product or like business card pictures or like, and then I put like a note on my pictures. Like, you know, you can like add like on a screenshot, like it's old school snap. I'm Snapchatting myself, right? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's how we get stuff done. It's efficient.
Stick with us, kids. Closing and shameless plug time. Dirty Lola, the mic is all yours. Like, if you're going to leave one message just today, because now we're going to have you come back, and we have shenanigans planned for July. You're going to leave one message to the audience, which is Blanca driving to the airport. What do you want to leave with them today?
Oh my gosh. Oh, just keep doing what we're doing. I think there's a lot of we're all stressed. There's a lot happening in the world and it can feel very trivial what we're doing, but we are providing relief for folks, joy, a respite. We're also many of us community centers and places where people can come be with other like-minded people. And so just keep being there and try to be a bigger part of your community if you can, but like know that we are playing a part in the revolution by being there for folks. And I think that it's very important what we're doing. So just remember that it's what we do is not trivial. Yeah.
No, it's like we all have our specialties. Like play to your strength. There's a reason that works for you and other things don't.
Yeah. Exactly.
Follow your higher calling. I love it. Okay, so, and of course, tell everyone where they can find you if they want to support you, book you, have you come and educate, or just, you know, want to send you presents.
All the things. I'm mostly on between Facebook, Talking Smack and Instagram. And then my website is dirtylola.co. You can always drop me a line on there if you want to book me. You can send like a thing. My email's on there too. I did it both ways because some people hate doing the forms, so you could just email me.
Oh, she does Lola, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
she's going to be so flexible for your needs.
very
whatever
flexible.
You need, so that she's going to make it happen. Okay, I had way too much fun. This episode is super long.
This was
Thanks
so great.
For hanging in with us, guys. We didn't even get to the other half of the episode, so we'll
next
figure it
time
out
we'll do the other half.
Next, this is why we're going to keep you leaving wanting for more. That's a wrap. Because I sell condoms. Thank you for coming to Tuesdays with Tori. Thank you so much, Dirty Lola, for laughing at my dumb jokes and bringing the fire. We'll see you all next Tuesday.